Hello and welcome everyone to Let's Play Tomb Raider 2 Remastered. This is guys 115 speaking, and let me welcome you inside the actual Catacombs of the Talion. In this level we are gonna get our hands on all 3 secrets, pick up all 39 goodies, and finish off all 33 enemies. This is gonna be the final level where we are gonna encounter this particular kind of Bartoli's henchmen with the skiing masks, the automatic pistols and Uzis. So if you can't stand these guys, and I can't blame you, this is the final straw, okay? We are also gonna trigger 7 icicles in this level, raising our total and getting closer and closer to unlocking that public service achievement in the next level. But in this level, we are gonna unlock 2 level-specific achievements, and actually very close to the beginning, okay? Now, one thing I want to show you straight from the get-go, which I think is absolutely cool, is that in the remasters, see, this is what it looked like in the original, but in the remasters, they added this sneak peek of the previous area from the Barkhang Monastery level, where the shrine where we entered the Seraph is. Unfortunately, this grate keeps us from going any further even with the photo mode, but it's little touch-ups like these which create a sense of continuity that make all the difference. Oh, I absolutely love it. Okay, so let's trigger some of those icicles. This should be a simple matter, plenty of space to move on the side. And now, before we get our hands on the very first secret over there, I'd like to wrap up business with a particularly annoying new enemy. Let me show you what I mean. There he is. This, my friends, is a Yeti. Yes, they are real, and just like the Bigfoot Lara stomped out at the beginning of Tomb Raider 1, she's gonna destroy these guys. Okay, but for that, we'll need a good weaponry. Whew. Wasn't sure if he's gonna make it to us or not. Very happy about that. So using a backflip from that platform once you're ready and taking Uzis out should give you sufficient amount of time, okay? There are no goodies or items to worry about in this dark pit of damnation. Instead, we opened up a door and released a snow leopard. We haven't seen these guys since Tibetan foothills, but they are gonna be here, okay? Surprisingly, perhaps, they are gonna be replaced by tigers in the next level. But not the orange variety from the Great Wall of China, but instead sort of black and white variety. It's really interesting and I don't know why. Okay. I can hear you, but I cannot see you. Can I shoot you? That's what I care about. No, not yet. Okay, so let's get our hands on the secret. We might as well light up another flare because it can get dark. One thing where I feel the remasters haven't done a good job is just how sort of ridiculously visible some of the pickupable items are. You can see that the box of flares over there pretty much glows in the dark. Yeah, it's just very easy to spot, but again, depending on where you're coming from, you might prefer that. Of course, I'm someone who knows these levels through and through, but I should, I guess, empathize with more new players a little bit more. Okay, that snow leopard is making me a bit nervous. Perfect, so we don't have to worry about this guy either. Wonderful. Now, if you want to do this absolutely precisely, then make sure to climb up there and make a midair roll and grab this, right? Just in case you're concerned about not timing this absolutely perfectly, this is sort of a surefire way of doing it. And again, 2 more icicles for that public service. This one triggers whilst you're on this tile, so that makes it even a little bit safer. Wonderful, so we made it here, we didn't take any damage, but let's be very careful, okay? Because we are about to be ambushed. I would recommend have your M16 ready for this. There they are. Wonderful. Not a single shot fired in our direction. Exactly the way I like it. Let's see what these hoodlums have dropped. Large medpack, automatic pistols. By the way, by now you might have noticed I'm using automatic pistols for these sorts of just your average common animals that get in our way. But for anything more powerful, I automatically switch to Uzis or, well, M16, like in this case. So let me explain the gist of this room. There is a pool over here with a trapdoor, which, when opened, will release the amount of water and also allow us to enter the next stage of the level. To do that, we need to pick up this mask called only Tibetan mask. Honestly, I really wish they would give us more information on what it's supposed to represent. Let me show you what it looked like in the original, way scarier in my opinion. Also, you could see traces of paint, which was really cool. Here, nah, the lips, the eyes, and that's about it. Still looks more realistic. We need to open the cage using the lever over here, and to get here we need to trigger sort of a little bit of an avalanche, right? Once we do that, we have 25 seconds to pick up the mask and unlock I Want It Now achievement, okay? There is, however, a better way to do it, where you can do it within 4 or 5 seconds essentially, although it can be a bit finicky, but let me show it to you, because it's much more reliable to unlock the achievement that way. First things first, there are going to be some particularly annoying snow leopards over here. Let's take care of them. Awesome. And a completely optional area with a small med pack, which is going to give us a sneak peek of the next level called Ice Palace, okay? By the way, perhaps a little bit of a surprise for you. If you're watching this video, the Ice Palace video is also out. Honestly, Catacombs of the Talion and Ice Palace that we are staring at right now, they really feel like they should have been the one and the same level. It doesn't feel right to have these separated, not at all. I mean, I guess it means there are at least more secrets to find, but still. Maybe they did it due to memory restraints at the time of the hardware in 1997, I'm not really sure. But I would love to think that it's the one and only level. First the foothills, then the monastery, and then the actual catacombs, right? So that's why I really wanted to tackle these levels together, record them in one day, and release them once they're ready, after a little bit of spending a couple of hours of editing. Release them together on the same day, so that you can just enjoy and watch these two levels in a continuity, okay? So yeah, you had to wait a bit longer for this, but hopefully it's worth it that way. Now, a couple of breakaway tiles. Let's grab the ladder and we can immediately make a backflip. Okay, there we are. Now, for this one, this can be tricky to get to. As you can see, Lara will be pushed back by the mere presence of the snowball. But just make a backflip. That seems to work reliably. You can now sidestep and press the lever, despite the fact the snowball is here. And now, let's get our hands on the mask and unlock the achievement. There we go, couldn't be simpler, and I want it now. As the snowball moves, manage to get a Tibetan mask in 25 seconds or less. Like I said, this way took us way less. I didn't actually track it, but I would imagine 4 or 5 seconds, okay? So that's it. You might be very tempted to then, with the mask, make a swan dive into this pool, and I have been known to do this a couple of times, not realizing that the water has since drained. By the way, let's take a look at the mask. There it is in all its glory. This really looks like one of those inspectable masks in Tomb Raider 2013 that you can look at in closer detail, although those are Japanese themed, right? But still, that's what it reminds me of. Pretty cool. Okie dokie, let's make a safety drop. You will make the slightest of falling damage over here. And now around the corner, I'm actually gonna make this level's first save already. It might seem a bit too soon, but that's because of the Snowballs Champion achievement, which asks us to make it to the top of that snowy hill and all the way back here before the final snowball touches that wall. So it's a bit tricky and there are a couple of nuances to it. But, like I said, let me save first. I'm gonna oversave our save file where we did a quick run through the Barkhang Monastery, keeping all the monks alive. We don't need it anymore. And there we go. So let's put the mask in and let me explain. I would actually recommend getting your guns out as you do this. Now the achievement icon would have you believe you need to jump over those snowballs, but no, you can actually just maneuver onto the side, which has the unfortunate habit of triggering the appearance of snow leopards, okay? So just be careful about that. Now, they are not our primary concern, but my god, we're taking damage like crazy. Anyway, we unlock the achievement, so this is the way I do it, okay? Going to the side. Very unfortunate how much damage we took from these guys, but we can still make it without taking any damage, alright? So again, if you want to jump over those snowballs instead, which I think is much harder, you will at least avoid triggering the appearance of these bloody annoying beasts. Oh god, I hate them so much. They just get in the way constantly. If you do it my way, then be prepared to fight. Maybe if I was to take out Uzis, they would die sooner and we would take less damage. But, well, like Lara says in Tomb Raider Legend, where would the suspense be otherwise, okay? Now, this is a very central area of the level, well, actually, of the levels, because we are gonna backtrack through here also in the Ice Palace level with a few differences here and there. Okay, so don't worry about reaching this. By the way, this right here is a leather texture, which is really interesting, and it confused the living hell out of me and my brother when we were playing this as kids, because we wanted to climb up. But alas, it was not meant to be, and back then we didn't know about corner glitch. Don't worry, you are not supposed to get there, okay? It's all part of the next level, again leading me to believe that Catacombs of Talion and Ice Palace were supposed to be the same one. Instead, let's explore the areas surrounding the frozen lake. Again, get your guns out. The snow leopards will just not leave you alone. Okay. Now, a bit more, please. I haven't had enough of the snow leopards. There they are. Yeah, very important you avoid triggering all 6 of them at the same time. Oh, did I mention 6? Yes, I absolutely did. So there we go. Now, interesting thing, underneath the frozen lake you can see a key item, the so-called gong hammer. Here's a fun fact, you're not supposed to pick it up. This item also does not count to the 39 total. If it would be 40, and we would never get all of them, making the souvenirs across the globe achievement impossible to get. Because we are gonna get it in the next Ice Palace level, okay? It's just here to tease us a little. However, it is physically here and present in the level, so I myself am not yet sure if I'll count it towards the total number of pickups or not, and if I'll just consider it 39 out of 40 pickups. You have already seen it in the sort of floating title screen, but I myself will decide that whilst editing, which I haven't done at the time of the recording, right? So, just something for me to sort of think about. But you guys already know the answer as to how I decided. Now, behind the heap of snow over here, we can already access underneath the frozen lake. To a certain extent, we cannot go behind these bars, but we get to pick up another Tibetan mask, which has the unfortunate habit of triggering the appearance of 2 of Bartoli's hoodlums, and we need to take care of them, whilst not losing too much health. Oopsie, that was not intentional. Where's the other one, though? Oh, okay, I can hear footsteps. I'm scared. I did not want to fall down so quickly. We can still do it without a medpack. Okay, he's taking his time. I'm sure it's gonna be worth it. Right, well, that could have gone better. Anywho, we still have over half of our health to spare, and we essentially made it through half the level, so what's there to complain, am I right? It's not like we'll be ambushed by 3 of these guys at the same time later on in the level. We totally will be. But, like I said, it's the final time we encounter them, so there's that to look forward to. Okay, now the whole point of sidetracking ourselves with that frozen lake... Oh, by the way, I haven't really explained how we are gonna get our hands on the gong hammer in the next level. Well, we are essentially gonna flip this large plate with, well, not molten lava, but residue after a fire, into the frozen lake, which is gonna thaw it out and make it accessible, okay? Which I think is a lot of fun. However, we are gonna find ourselves over here, okay? To trigger a lever. But that's not the mechanism that's gonna actually flip it over, quite disappointingly so. Now, before we insert the Tibetan mask into its slot, let's just quickly make it up the ladder. I mean, if you can corner glitch here, awesome, it's gonna save you even a little bit more time. Because there'll be grenades to pick up here, and actually grenade launcher is something I'm gonna make a good use of for an ambush I hinted at by those Bartoli's hoodlums, kind of similar to Barkhang Monastery ambush, when they're clustered together, and oh my god, I am amazed we did not take falling damage. Well, good to know. Like I said, when they're clustered together, it's a perfect weapon to use. Now, let's throw a flare. Could barely see that the door even opened here. Just listen to that. Complete and utter darkness. And you can hear there are yetis everywhere, but you cannot see them, which is absolutely terrifying. There are actually 2 cages downstairs My god, these noises gave me nightmares when I was a kid. There are 2 cages downstairs that are locked. I don't know how they survived in there. But the important thing is, when you press a lever right over here, you will release all of them. Although 1 or 2 might get stuck and not try and ambush you immediately, if you're lucky. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Well, who would have thought? All 4 of them made it out. Like I said, usually 1 or 2 manage to get stuck in one of their cages. The really cool thing is that as you approach their cages, you'll see goodies lying around. It's 6 goodies total, 3 in this one and 3 on the opposite side. So that's really generous. By the way, I remember these bars in the original release being bugged, where you could pass through them by one side to enter the cage, but not be able to then get out of the cage using it, which was actually really scary. Almost seemed intentional, but I believe it was a bug. But that doesn't seem to be the case here in the remasters anymore. But who knows what a future patch might change, right? Okay, so that's it. Plenty of goodies around, and the reason why we pressed that lever was not just to release the Yetis and get our hands on all the kills and goodies, but also to open all these bars over here, okay? So it doesn't matter which entrance you choose, although this one has grenades in it. What you need to do is get inside and press a lever. However, the lever has a nasty tendency to then lock these grates, locking you inside, and you need to press it again to get out and essentially make no progress whatsoever. This is a really cool example of jamming a mechanism in order to progress. I don't think we've encountered anything like this in Tomb Raider 1. It's something commonly used in the Crystal Dynamics trilogy, but here it's, I think, kind of the first hallmark time where we need to jam a mechanism to prevent half of it from functioning. So, with the block being over there, we open the door, and these iron bars, all tied to the same mechanism, all remained open because it's jammed with that block, okay? So that's essentially all there is to it. Now you could already hear a couple of footsteps, and this is where I'm gonna get my grenade launcher out, because this is a bit of a nightmare. And let me show you what works fairly well. Make a drop, immediately roll so that you get right under, and they will not have a conceivable angle to shoot you at. Also be careful not to approach the brazier down there too much. Okay. Come out, wherever you are. So yeah, when you think of grenade launcher as an improved shotgun, it all just clicks. What? How are you... What angle was that? Well, you know what? There's only the final one. Alright, could you please get unstuck? Thank you. Yeah, for the final one, we don't need to use a grenade launcher, right? Thank you. Well, that was a bit more annoying than I was hoping for, but nevertheless. Let's not miss the goodies that these guys have dropped, okay? This one clipped into the wall, but thankfully we're still able to get our hands on the automatic pistol clips. And all we've achieved, essentially, via going through those Yeti prison cells, again, no idea how they survived down there, is opening up this door. So we're gonna go back to the side dungeon, and this is essentially gonna allow us to get behind the fiery bowl pedestal. Oh, which finally is burning. Didn't notice that. Last time we checked with the photo mode, the fires were not out. I guess it's a trick to conserve memory or something like that. Yeah, it was cute for little fires in the original as well. So now we are gonna get our hands on the lever over there. Whoa, this right here is a vast improvement. I think it's the Dharma Chakra wheel symbol again. Pretty damn cool. Just to remind us that we are actually under the Barkhang Monastery itself, inside the catacombs guarded by the monks. Pretty cool. Now we are gonna go through sort of a frozen river section just to reach the lever above the fiery bowl, okay? And here we are gonna encounter familiar looking enemies, but we haven't actually seen them yet, because they're gonna look very similar to barracudas from the Wreck of Maria Doria levels. However, they are not barracudas. Instead, they are, well, a bit of a catfish. Oh, and that reminds me, I did not take any pictures of the Yetis. Thankfully, we'll be able to remedy that. But here they are. See? These are different from the barracudas, and they have these whiskers. They are indeed catfish, and they come in two varieties in this game, but we're gonna have to wait for a while to see the other one. But this one I call silver catfish or something like that. Here we go, into the water, and Lara, if you could just immediately climb up before it will start biting, that would be preferable. Thank you. And again, you don't really need a harpoon gun anymore, okay? So don't worry about it. Oh, Lara was about to aim at another one. Let's see if we can do this. Wonderful. All three taken care of. Like I said, no harpoon needed whatsoever. Now let's trigger more icicles. You can do this very safely from a row next to them. And for the final one, there we go. So that's all 7 icicles for the public service achievement triggered in this level. There's gonna be 4 more in the Ice Palace, okay? By the way, before you're eager to continue, just note a bit of a hint that Saber have added in the remasters, the suddenly light shining here. This is really to draw your attention to a ladder you can grab here. We had no such luxury in the original. I really appreciate this detail. It's really cool. It just draws your attention to it. Now I'm gonna try and remember how far up we need to go to make that perfect backflip to actually avoid slipping down. I think Lara's foot needs to be right on the level of here. Okay, this should do it. Perfect. Okay, there we go. There's a second secret. There's only one more to go. Okay, and we can continue down the frozen river, right? So it's a walk in the park. This frozen river is, I don't know why, one of the most memorable locations of Tomb Raider 2 for me. It's something I always think about when replaying the game. Just not particularly even looking forward to it, just thinking, oh yeah, we're also gonna be here, if that makes sense. Love this animation. It has weight to it. Very weighty. Okay. Lara, can you use your feet? Not yet? Alright. One more should do it. Thank you. And now, here you have a bit of a worse visibility of when to do backflip, but I like to be aligned to this texture line over here. There we go. Should be just right. We've opened the door down there, and now to avoid breaking Lara's neck, remember, if you fall into water, you're fine. Even if we were to fall into this shallow water, we would be unable to break Lara's neck, no matter the height, which is really cool. Okay, it will not follow you directly into the water, so don't worry, you are safe there. And now, perhaps the biggest disappointment of the level. Yeah, this doesn't topple over the fiery brazier, which just makes no goddamn sense. Instead, we're gonna go through essentially half of the Ice Palace level before coming back here. Yeah. Try to make a running jump and tilt Lara. Ah, okay. We don't need to tilt her. Even falling down like this, she takes no damage. Wonderful. And now we are entering the final area of the level, but it can be quite dangerous unless you know exactly what to do. Which I think I do, which is why I haven't saved yet, but let's put that to a test. Okay, if you guys want to come back, I would be very happy about that. No? Even Lara was not particularly eager to shoot at them. Interesting. Well, we can always just repeat the series of jumps over here, over and over. There's 3 snow leopards down there. Trust me, you don't want to fall with those guys in there. And I believe that's it. You know what? Let's drop a flare there, just to be sure. And also, let's make a safety drop from the lower ledge over here. Wonderful. And now, what I'd like to do is press the switch so that we are able to even get out of here, but this will trigger the appearance of another one. Just making a stationary jump should give you the right amount of time to finish him off before he can bite you, okay? Very easy. Again, all these strategies are gonna fall apart in New Game Plus. Oh boy, I am scared. Alrighty then. And the whole purpose of falling into this pit, rather than just being an accident and then having to get out and landing kills, is the goodies over here. Very generous, I like. Just 5 goodies like that. Makes it worthwhile, don't you think? Or do you guys prefer to avoid this pit altogether so you don't have to deal with the snow leopards? Let me know. Okay. Now, for the sort of penultimate challenge of the level. Yeah, okay, so there's an ice barrier. Unfortunately, we cannot shoot it nor break it with Lara's body. We need to trigger the boulder over there. First, however, I think I'd like to trigger the ones over here. Okay, that should just about do it. I mean, you don't have to engage with those boulders whatsoever, but I just like doing it, you know? Just feels like we've thoroughly explored the level. Now, let's make a jump to get out of the way, and this will quite nicely break the barrier. See? That's all there is to it. Now, this is sort of the final timed challenge. It really is not as tricky as it might seem. What we need to think about, however, is this level's third secret. So let's ignore that touchpad over there. By the way, in the original they used leather textures. This is not the remaster messing something up. This was the case there. I don't know why. Here they at least added bricks with a nice frame surrounding them, which I think is way more appropriate. But my god, this area is dark. So let's use the left touchpad just to open the door to reach this area with a concealed ladder. It's a bit easier to see in the original graphics than it is in Remastered. But this is the same ladder texture I complained in the central area with the balcony before, that we cannot climb it up in this level. And here, the purpose it serves is to get our hands on the golden secret, okay? By the way, one thing I haven't talked about, there is no Codex of Tibet achievement for getting all the secrets in the Tibetan levels, which is really annoying. I don't know why. They made a separate one for the offshore rig and diving area and separate one for Maria Doria. I would expect them to make a separate one for China and Tibet, but here they are calling it just Codex of China, but it includes the Great Wall, Tibetan foothills, Barkhang Monastery, Catacombs of Talion, Ice Palace, Temple of Xi'an, Floating Islands, and these are the levels, all of them you need to tackle for that, okay? Which is kind of crazy. Now, I'd recommend dropping the flare before continuing on this challenge. And now touch this touchpad. This opens the door at the very end. And now, make sure to jump and grab the ladder, okay? This is such a trick. I can't begin to tell you how many unfortunate souls have died rushing through that corridor only to fall down, not expect the ladder, and break Lara's neck, okay? Now, the moment we make another step, we will essentially find ourselves at the stats screen. So let me make a save here, and let's see how well we did. Okay, so that was Catacombs of the Talion, a very short level and a nice change of pace, I guess, from Barkhang Monastery. After pretty much the most massive level of the game, I guess it feels good to have a bit of a shorter one. We found all 3 secrets, picked up all 39 goodies. Again, not yet decided we should count it 39 out of 40 because of that gong hammer that was clearly visible there, and it is in this level map or not, I'll decide. And we have killed all 33 enemies, and don't worry, you will see no more of Bartoli's skiing mask henchmen, okay? So that's done with. I forgot to take a picture of Yetis, but luckily we'll have plenty of opportunities to do that in the next Ice Palace level. I do have to say I love the number of the ammunition used over here. We have done so without using a medpacks, although this is a really easy level to do that for. And we have unlocked both these levels achievements and triggered 7 icicles. There are 4 more, if I remember correctly, in the Ice Palace level, waiting for us to unlock that public service. So guys, I hope you had a blast, even though this was a very short level. But again, like I said, I really feel that Catacombs of the Talion and Ice Palace were always supposed to be the one and the same level, which is why, at the time of you watching this, Ice Palace video is already out, so please feel free to check it out, but not before sticking around so that I can say thanks to my amazing patrons. Plain Goopel, Mick, Severin Drex, Marek Malec and Katie Danger, thank you guys so much for being my Winston and also for preparing a delicious cup of Christmas eggnog. It is absolutely unbearably hot where I am, but Lara must be positively freezing in Tibet. Next, I would like to say big thanks to my caretaker Winston, Michael McConkey. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and also for treating Lara's bruises after the intense and deadly snow fight she had with Bartoli's henchmen. Thankfully, she came out on top. Talking about Bartoli's henchmen, this is the last time we've seen his snow troopers, and that is thanks to my veteran Winston, Andrea Paviglianiti. Thank you so much for very generously supporting the channel, sir, and also for helping us fight off this army of hoodlums. I cannot begin to tell you how pleased I am we'll never see them again, up until the Golden Mask expansion. I am already practicing. And finally, I would like to give a very special thank you to my one and only Fine Vintage Winston. Akira Foxmind. Thank you so much for so generously supporting the channel and for sharing all your comments, and also for reading everything there is to about Yetis to baby Lara. Thanks to the knowledge and expertise you passed down onto her, she's been able to avoid today to get bitten or have her skull caved in by these massive degenerate monstrosities. In a certain way, you help her add these beasts onto Lara's ever-expanding extinction list. Thank you for your assistance. And finally, thank you to everyone for watching, for making it this far, and also for sharing your comments. What I'm really always most interested in, outside of some extra strategies and tips that you guys share with me, is your own personal memories and experience with these levels, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the raid-worthy. So please share those with me, I can't wait. And also, the Ice Palace video is already out. Feel free to click on this link on the screen as a continuation of the Catacombs of the Talion, because like I said in the video, these levels should have been one level, and maintaining that philosophy, I just couldn't release one without the other. So, what are you waiting for? I'm gonna see you in the next video. Happy raiding!